The army has reacted strongly to the suggestion that the ethnic identity of soldiers posted on duty in Manipur has anything to do with their objectivity. Our focus continues on the troubled situation on the ground in Manipur. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo story. We brought earlier to you a perspective from the Kuki People's Alliance. They are demanding a separate administration. The Home Minister has been in Manipur. A judicial probe has been announced. The Home Minister has identified a recent court order that spoke of a special status for the Meitei community as being the immediate catalyst for the trouble. But since then, Manipur has quite literally gone up in flames. The situation is so volatile that even internet blockdowns and shoot aside orders did not really work in keeping the peace and maintaining stability. For the BJP led government, this is a real crisis and a real challenge. Though things are marginally better today, the fault lines have been wrenched wide open. On the program today, to get your perspective from the other side, we'll be talking to a leader of the Meitei community. We are going to be speaking in a moment from now to Nishikant Singh Sapam. He's an independent MLA. He's a leader, as I said, of the Meitei community, and he has been a supporter of the government there. Let's go across to him now as we look at the situation in Manipur and try and understand exactly what is happening. Nishikant ji, Namaskar, and सबसे पहले I want to ask you, are things better? What is the situation there right now?
Well, the things like you said is marginally better because today the curfew has been relaxed from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is not bad. So
Okay.
that is marginally better. But having said that, as I speak to you, there was a showdown between the army and the police. There's some altercation. There was some confusion going there. And then right now, as I speak to you, in Phaying, and there are 4 places in around Phaying where the Kuki militants and the army are at loggerheads and they're shooting at each other. And at the same time, as I speak to you, there is a place in Bishanpur district. It's called Chandanpokpi district, and Kuki militants and the commandos are again at loggerheads. So,
Now,
so, so what
yeah,
happens is if something happens there, then let's say if any dead body comes down, then it goes like really crazy here in Imphal.
you used the phrase Kuki militants. We had a Kuki People's Alliance leader on our program a couple of days ago, and he said, "Why are we being called militants? We're Indians."
Okay. Now, what is the definition of a militant? A militant is a person who's armed to the teeth and with all the AK-47 and automatic rifles and shooting down at the villages or the foothills. I would call them rather terrorists more than that. So that is the problem. You see, it broke off on the 3rd, and then after 3-4 days, it came quite under control. And the curfew had relaxed till 4 o'clock. It went on like that for almost 20 days. And when the Union Home Minister had announced to visit Manipur, on the 27th night, there was suddenly like very well choreographed, very well planned firing from all directions from the hill into the foothill villages. So that's where everything went berserk after that. Once again, so now things are trying to cool down because it's all reaction. You do that there, then there's a reaction here, and vice versa. It goes on.
Well,
So I mean,
140 arms have been surrendered. The Kukis say we only took arms. We took pistols for our protection. We weren't the ones who looted the armory. Your community says something else. Let me ask you this: do you believe that the court order that declared that the Meitei community should also have a scheduled tribe status is what was the catalyst, or do you think the problem is elsewhere?
the problem had been brewing for quite some time. And like, for example, there were some people who had crossed over and had started staying in the reserve forest. And the chief minister had told them to vacate. So it was already brewing. Then the chief minister was to go and inaugurate an open gym at Honorable Khaute's, centenary or year completion day. That got burned down. Then after that, there was tension going on. And then the court order had come out. And against that, the tribal of Manipur, they unitedly went for a so-called peace march. In that peace march on the 3rd, what happened was, there'll be claims and counterclaims. What actually happened, as per the people in the valley, there was a video that came out, where you could see villages were being torched, and these people were roaming around in AK-47s. That is when things went berserk, berserk here. And then the story, you know the rest, how it goes. So you see, when had it been people to people, it would have been okay. But you have, so that is why the Union Home Minister said that the sue ground rule has to be very strictly adhered to. Otherwise, there will be action will be taken. So, and many places where the security advisor, Mr. Kuldeep Singh, had also said that, you know, when you go into a sue, you have to surrender your arms, and one key is with them and one key is with either the police or with the army. In many cases, the arms are just missing, you know. So this is a big issue. So
So
therefore, the people reacted,
the
and they went in, stormed into police stations and picked up the arms. And then
yeah.
in between, when it cooled down, the arms had been returned. Around 60-65% arms had been returned. But again, on the 27th evening, when we were being attacked into the valley, then again the crowd went berserk. Again, they, you know, took over the arms.
So tell me this, Nishikant. The Kuki MLAs that supported the government, right? 7 BJP, 3 outside of that. They now are demanding a separate administration. The 7 BJP MLAs who are part of this demand, who are from the Kuki community. How do you respond to this demand? Do you think that's the solution, a separate
No,
administration for
no,
the Kuki
no.
community?
See, 2 of them were cabinet ministers also.
Yeah.
Out of the 10, you see, I'll tell you one thing. It has become so polarized that I don't think they really wanted to demand that. If they did, they would not survive. It was a question of their life. If you talk to them in person, they don't want it. It became so polarized. You
So
see, this
who is forcing them to make that kind of statement then?
there are so many outfits. Manipur is full of outfits. And this was a long-standing demand of these certain outfits and certain Kuki people that they want a separate area, separate this, separate that, separate, you know, Kuki land and all that. So this was a very long-standing demand. And you see, who benefits from the violence? There's politics. So you do violence, heavy violence, and you ask for a. So who's ultimately? What is the political ramification? What is the political target? Separate administration, separate state, and all that, separate Kuki land, which the Home Minister has outrightly said, no, it's not going to happen.
How do you respond to the argument that the Meiteis are the ones who enjoy already? This is what the Kukis say: a disproportionate amount of influence and power, and therefore a court order that gives them further benefits is unacceptable. How do you respond to that argument?
See, there is the Hill Area Committee. They have their MLAs, respective MLAs. The money goes through them. It's been happening all the while. And why do their own leaders come and leave their own villages and build houses in Imphal? You know, see, the ST thing is a slightly different story. Now, I will put my case in this. A lot of people, especially
Can
my
I can
Kuki
I
brothers,
can I add a question from one of our viewers who says, I don't understand why an ethnic group like the Meiteis, who number about 15 lakhs, feel threatened from a tribal group like the Kukis in Manipur.
15 lakh, we are more than 15 lakh. Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
this is
we'll
what.
be around. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we'll be around right now 49%. And the
Okay.
Kukis are almost 30%, 29%.
Yeah.
So I'll
Okay.
tell you one thing. Now, मैं आपको
Yeah.
बताता हूँ. See,
बताइए.
अच्छा, ऐसा है कि I'll have to go back a little bit. You see, before we joined India, we were all considered tribes by the British. Okay, we could buy land, stay anywhere, any one of us, whether you are a Kuki, a Manipuri Kuki. Let me specify a Manipuri Kuki. All Kukis are not Manipuris. The Manipuri Kuki, the Tangkhul, the Nagas, the Meiteis, everybody could stay anywhere, buy land anywhere. When Manipur merged with the Union of India, it was the King of Manipur only who signed the document and none other. So then what happens is that we signed and the king joined with India, with Kobo Valley, which is very much in Burma and which was given away by late Jawaharlal Nehru after some time. Now, what I want to say is that the king, it went beyond the hill area, and then we had Churachandpur, where the epicenter is like now. Churachandpur is named after the king Churachand Maharaj. So what I'm trying to say is that the land belonged to all of us. I'm not saying Meiteis. I'm saying all of us who are stakeholders, who are citizens of India and citizens who are Manipuris. And then what happens is that in 1951, when the census came about, the government then, our complaint is with the government who removed us from the ST tag. Then in 1960, they had the MLR and LR Act where it was only put in Imphal and certain places in Churachandpur and More where you could only buy land there. So what has happened is Imphal is supposed to be having less than 10 percent of the land, out of which if you take away Loktak Lake and Kabul Lamjau, we are probably left with 6.5%. In that 6.5%, the majority Meiteis and the Muslims and the non-Manipuri Indians and all our tribal brothers are residing. Now, I want to remind you that at the time of independence, 34 lakh was the population of India. Now, India is surpassing China with 140 crore. Likewise, in 1951 census, the population of Manipur was 5.7 lakh. Today, we are almost 40 lakh because the last census we did was in 2011, we were almost 29 lakh. So in another 30, 40 years down the line, we'll be 1.5, 2 crore. Where will we go? There will be a bloodbath. So what I'm trying to say is that let us all together share the resources of the state. Let us have every person born in in Manipur are all son of the soil. Let us have a level playing field. We are not saying that we will grab and we'll no,
Are you
let's
saying
share.
are you saying the Meitei community does not have a level playing field despite being
No,
49%
you
of the population? What are you saying?
just apply. I said we are restricted to the valley after minusing the area of the lake and things like that. The 6.5%. Had it be opposite, like for example, 90% was the plain and 10% was the thing, we would have never complained. You are from North India. You understand Himachal Pradesh, right? Himachal
Yes.
Pradesh. In fact, you are from Stephens. I know that. I have a Stephanian
Yes.
friend who is from he's a Rajput and he has an orchard in Jubbal. He's a
Right.
Rajput. He's nowhere
Right.
a ST or something. So
Right.
likewise, we could. I'm saying let us share the land. I mean, like
So
Himachal is a part of India and so is Manipur.
you
You have
want
to rectify.
access, you want the same access, so it's a level playing field, basically,
And
right?
yes, and in the job area, I'll tell you one thing. In the
Yeah.
job area, what happens is that for a typical Manipuri boy, I mean, Meitei boy who has got no quota, studies in a simple school. I mean, there is a difference in the level. He has to compete with somebody like Barkha Dutt in St. Stephen's College. कैसे करेगा वो? So you have to make us also give us the chance to go forward also. It's very difficult,
Okay.
and now out of let's say 14 IAS officers, there are hardly any Meiteis left. There are like 10 of them will be our Kuki brothers. Somewhere there is so आपको हमारी जमीन जा रही है, नौकरी का स्कोप नहीं है, तो फिर दिमाग का संतुलन तो
एक
थोड़ा ढीला हो जाएगा ना.
एक और जो एलिगेशन आया है कुकी कम्युनिटी की तरफ से वो ये है कि जब उनके एमएलएस पे अटैक्स हो रहे थे, उन्होंने चीफ मिनिस्टर को फोन किया, चीफ मिनिस्टर ने मदद करने से इनकार कर दिया कि जो डीजीपी हैं उनका घर टारगेट किया गया, जलाया गया, that if the DGP is not safe, who is safe? How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I agree with that. There was a collapse in the administration. You see, the way everything broke off, it was so fast that the administration, the government could not anticipate. And I will concede, it's a fact, it happened. But then we have to rectify this. Rule of law has to be enforced at any cost.
What is the way forward? The army, you must have seen that statement, gave an unprecedentedly sharp statement saying, don't drag the ethnic identity of soldiers into this. Please stop the leaking of the ethnic makeup of those who are on duty. The Indian army acts without any fear or favor, right? We are fair to all and fear none.
I agree. I agree with the army statement. That's how the army should be, and the army has been. But there have been a few incidences which didn't go that way. Anyway, so the way forward is, what I would say is that, number one, you have to disarm people. Everybody. I mean, everybody, cutting across community line. And the people in the SU, the ground rules have to be strictly, adhered to. And those who are breaking it, like the Home Minister said, action will be taken. And their arms also. You see what's happening in Barkha. There are a lot of people coming in. They got sniper guns. Some people are shot through and through. Common people don't have sniper guns. Common people don't have AK-47s. And you have people coming in with lungis. Lungis. Nobody wears lungis. Even only Burmese wear lungis. And there is a omni-Chinese presence across the border. This has become a national threat. Anyway, the rule of law must play out. It is for the government and the central government or the state government to ensure that the rule of law is enforced. And then the civil society organizations in Manipur, particularly those of the neutral ones, like for example, the Tangkhul, Kabuis and the Manipuri Muslims, they must bridge the gap. And then eventually the Kukis and the Meiteis have to play on. And there must be NRC because you see, the cutoff date, I will just
Why
remind
the NRC? Why the NRC?
There is heavy infiltration. I'll tell you one thing. One second. You see, in There was in 2015 in Ibobi's time. There was there was a Manipur People's Bill or something like that, where the cutoff date for everybody and anybody who was in Manipur, because people keep coming across the border, was 1951. When he announced that, do you know how many Kuki ministers and MLAs houses were burnt because they did not qualify in that criteria? Now that a date has been put up to 1961. You see, what's happening is whenever we say NRC, our Kuki brothers get really mad at it. Well, you cannot have people just barging in. You have to, and then you can apply for citizenship accordingly. I am talking about NRC, and I'm talking about infiltration with, it's got nothing to do with the community. There are Meiteis staying in Burma also. There are Meiteis staying in Churachandpur also. Anyone who comes after 1961, be it a Meitei or a Kuki or a Tangkhul, will be taken as a foreigner. And due process of law must take.
We are getting repeated questions about, please ask him about the Aramboy Tengol and the Meiti Lipun role in flaring up this conflict. Many questions coming like this.
Yeah, yes. I know the name has come up many times, and yes. It was a mob. It was not just them. It was a mob. If it was just them, you had to see them a few hundreds or something. It was like in thousands. It was a massive mob. It went wild, I'm telling you. I live in Imphal. These people probably don't know what happened in Imphal. For some of them, a lot of them were affected in Imphal. I agree to that. And no, anyone, all these people who have been affected, the victims are absolutely innocent people. बहुत मासूम है और बिल्कुल गलत हुआ जो भी हुआ, चाहे वो पहाड़ में हुआ, whether it was done in the hill or whether in the valley, all innocent people, or the victims are all innocent people. And I really feel very sorry, very unfortunate, and I condemn that in my strongest terms.
Okay, that's good to hear. Now, let me ask you this. What's the way ahead? You said that there's no question of a separate administration for Kukis. The Kuki community is unlikely to just sit back and accept the court order recognizing the Meiteis as a scheduled tribe. What is the solution?
No. You see, there will be debates to and fro. First, leave that scheduled tribe aside right now. Right now, we have to bring peace. We have to put out the fire right now. And you have to connect hearts. You have to bring peace. We have to resettle people wherever they were. Like, for example, there were our Kuki brothers who were staying in Imphal. They should be resettled. Those Meiteis who were staying in More in the Kuki areas, they must be resettled. Hearts have to connect. And that is a very difficult thing to do. But when you do it, the civil society organizations have a massive role to play. And the law must be enforced very, very, very strongly and very strictly. And there should no caste, community, nothing. Anybody who breaks the law must be dealt with an iron hand. Sorry, that's how it should go.
So will the marginal improvement in the situation mean that at the moment the judicial probe is enough, or would you recommend any more specific measures? I ask this because the Chief Minister's role has come under a great deal of scrutiny. Do you think the Chief Minister is in control of the situation?
It is now the army also in picture. Chief Minister, of course, there, but what I'm trying to say is that the probe must happen. I am for the probe. probe. जो भी guilty है, उनको बिल्कुल सख्त से सख्त सजा दी जाए. जो भी, चाहे पहाड़ में हो, चाहे यहाँ पर भी हो. भाई कानून है भाई, कोई बना दे रिपब्लिक थोड़ी ना.
तो फिर आगे क्या होना चाहिए इस प्रोब को छोड़ के, इस प्रोब के अलावा?
वही मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, फिर CSOs आएंगे, प्रोब तो होता रहेगा. And rule of law is so important. It has to be enforced.
अगर आप इस सब के बीच में NRC करेंगे तो won't it be even more inflammable?
नहीं. NRC देखिए आप कोशिश कीजिए. Just try entering America without documents. Where are they going to welcome you with piece of land and everything? Right to vote? No. We are also a country, like America or any other country. So we can have those who come in can be, because they are being chased away from Burma. They're having tough time to survive. Okay, give them a plot of land, big land, 100 acre, 200 acre, 300 acre, 1000 acre. Make them live there. But they should not be given citizen rights. If they want to apply, or if CAA, whatever, they want to apply for citizenship, there is a way. Let them apply. Whether it is a Meitei or a Kuki or Tangkhul, anybody.
Are you hopeful of the situation being resolved in the near future?
I am very hopeful because my second name is positivity is my second name.
Okay, thank you very much, Nishikant Singh. I just want to say that I really hope, today is marginally better. I hope tomorrow will be a little more better. Thank you for talking to us. It's a complex issue. We've tried to get all voices of this debate, and we'll continue to keep our focus on Manipur. Thank you for watching, and thank you, Nishikant ji. Take care.
Thank you, Barkha. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
started Mojo right here in this basement. Just 4 people, 4. And now we're about to hit our first 1 million subscribers. So this is to say thank you to all of you for your support, for your respect, and for your encouragement. We've always gone to where the story is. During the pandemic, when television's big anchors were hunkered down in their studios or at their homes, we hit the road. We traveled from Delhi to Kerala, covering 30,000 kilometers in a small car, reporting from inside ICUs and inside slum tenements. Whether it's flash floods or war zones, we've always put our boots on the ground. In fact, we're just back from Punjab, tailing the Khalistani fugitive Amritpal Singh. And through all of this, we have always put you, the people, first. In an age of partisan polarized media where most journalists are either chamcha ya morcha, we believe the story is sacred and the truth of the story is what matters. And now as we get ready for the next step, we need your help. Become a Mojo member and get first access to all our big interviews. Get a chance to ask our newsmakers questions. Get a chance to write and report for us for both our website and our channels. And also, interact with me and my colleagues directly through AMA sessions. Literally, ask me anything. Click on the join now right next to the subscribe button, and yes, also subscribe if you haven't yet, and become a Mojo member for just 159 rupees a month. Hope to see lots of you in our community.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.